podcast where we bring you the latest in gaming news, indie reviews, and everything else under the sun. I am here with my co-host, James. What's up, brother?
Oh, hey, how y'all doing today?
I know what's happening. And then my guy, Carl, back again. What's up, Carl?
What's good? I'm Carl Hernandez, and I plan on buying Chrome for $20 billion.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's breaking news here. Carl is getting robbed after the show ends. I did not know you was balling like that, but good to know. This might be the last time we do this show because I'm about to go off and fucking invest in crypto or something. No, but if it is our last show ever, then we got a pretty good one. I know we haven't been around for the last couple of weeks and everything. Life sometimes. But we are back, and I kind of wanted to take a minute to talk about some games that are kind of dormant right now, like some game franchises that we're looking for to coming back, hoping come back, some that are already in the works, and kind of discussing how excited we are about them and like whether we think they'll work, basically. So I got a little short list, and then we'll kind of go through you guys' suggestions. I know y'all got plenty of stuff that y'all can throw out there that might want to come back. Even though I get a feeling I listed a lot of it. Like I think y'all got a lot of what's on y'all list. But I guess we can kind of start with games that are already coming back that we're looking forward to, or like what we kind of speculate about them, and then we'll kind of get into all the predictions, the hopes, the things that we want to see come back, because that's the fun part of the combo. But to get us started with that convo, man, I want to talk about a game that recently returned because we never did our episode. We were supposed to do an episode about stuff we were playing. We never did the episode. But I know, James, I don't know if Carl, you've been playing this, but I know, James, you've been playing Sparking Zero, which is the return of Budokai Tenkaichi. So before we jump into all of the, conversation that we're having, what's your experience been like with Budokai Tenkaichi's return?
It's been great actually. I've been playing it a lot. Like I said, I think the best thing about that game is definitely the what if stories. Just if they took a part of the Dragon Ball Z universe and they flipped it somehow in some way. So like I said, I mean the game been out, so I'm not spoiling anything anymore. But like just like I talked about before, just the fact of like actually Gohan was the one that became black instead of like Goku, and how much different that could have been in that universe. And I think, if you really think about it, like shit, if Trunks saw, Gohan actually be evil, how would that make him feel? How would that make Goku feel?
Like
hey,
you
my
said
son is
last
the one
time,
killing
it'd have been
everybody.
way better.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, but I think like just the gameplay, just the characters, like just the characters that came back, just the matchups, like seeing Brawley from the old movies fight like Jiren or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just the different things you can like think about. I think it's a great game.
Thanks. And that's kind of lines up with everything I've been hearing about it. I've been really impressed with Sparking Zero, just from seeing gameplay, how it works, like all the things that they made work with it. I know it's not a perfect game or whatever. And then especially if you like super competitive fighting wise, like I know the mechanics can be a little controversial at times. Like they finally nerfed Yajirobe, I heard, but other than that,
Yeah. He can give
but
himself sensu beans, which was like
dude,
ridiculous.
I'm not gonna hook. My favorite thing in the world is Yajirobe is OP. You should have kept that way forever. Like, come on, that's awesome. That's fucking amazing. But no, I think that's a really special game, and it's a great example of like a game that feels like that's a PS2 as series, right? Like that's a series that like feels like that era of video games. Just the way it works, the shit that they try. We don't really get games that try cool shit like that. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but Tenkaichi 3 also had something similar to like what if stories. Like, and I think even the first Budokai might have had some shit like sort of like that. I don't think it's as in-depth as
it wasn't as in-depth.
yeah. Yeah, but they were kind of flirting with that idea already and whatnot. And you can kind of see that like they already was that bold. That's some bold shit to do. Like you're taking great stories from our childhood and like being like, hey, what if this happened? Instead of Goku fighting Boo, what if it was Bulma? Like all type of wild shit. I'm sure that's not real, but yeah.
I've always liked the what if stories. I remember the one from Budokai. I think it was Budokai 3, when it was what if Cell absorbed Krillin. And when he does, he becomes a short little orange cell. And it's like the best thing ever.
I remember that. I think I remember that. See, this is what, like they have fun with it. You know what I mean? And that's awesome. The games look fun as hell. Like I would have never thought of some of those concepts, and even beyond that, just the way that the mechanics work, like how you can have multiple people on your team, but they like work for different things, type, situation where it's based on power ranking, so you can kind of have a guy like Hercule not suddenly be able to take on Goku. He can actually be Hercule, but you can put like seven Hercules on your team, but in one Goku type of situation. But
I also
um,
enjoy if you do teams and you put certain people together, they interact differently. So like
mm,
somebody put a team with like Gohan, Videl, Hercule, Pan, and Piccolo. And Pan was like, "Hey, I wanted to go on a picnic." And like Gohan was like, "Yeah, sure." After we do everything, and Hercule was like, "Yeah." And Piccolo was like, "Why am I here going on this picnic?" I'm like, "You know why? You're the grandpa.
yeah,
Cut
yeah.
that out."
Come on, Piccolo gonna act like he's not part of the family for
Exactly.
the rest of history.
Cut it
Nah,
out.
you bought in, but that's amazing. I didn't even actually know that. That's pretty cool. And Dragon Ball has one of those type of universes where you just kind of want to play around and like see characters interact in different ways. If you have a conversation between two characters that never talked before, that'll make the fandom's day. Like just little stuff like that. So
Or like, like Trunks and Gohan, like Trunks will be like, "You don't know how much like you meant to me." Well, even though
yeah.
Gohan doesn't know, but yeah,
Bro,
um,
I didn't even hear that,
yeah,
but hearing you say that
yeah,
got me a little in the heart. Like that
yeah,
was kind of
yeah,
that's a lot, bro. That's a real situation. That's why he should have been black. But
yeah,
um,
exactly.
but no, that's dope. I love to hear that. I really was very interested in it. I'm still planning to buy it. All my entire gaming budget for like the last month went to Dragon Age, so that's what I've been playing. But yeah, no, that's one that I'd love to see get rebooted. And that's a good example of like how it can work. Like you can bring a series back and kind of flip it on it, not really flip it on its head, but just kind of do what it was already doing in a modern sense. Um, yeah.
I was gonna point out I haven't played Sparking Zero, but the whole idea of Gohan being like black is obviously sounds so weird saying it. It's just better because it makes more sense in general because Gohan has a stronger body than Goku.
Yeah, he has a strong he has
It
history with Trunks. Like he's got high potential like a motherfucker. Like there's so many things about it. Even though I love Goku Black's era, don't get like me saying all of this makes me sound like I don't like it. I can't believe they made that stupid shit work. That shit was awesome, and it was probably like until the tournament arc, it was my favorite part of Super. Like
yeah,
that shit
Super's
was
kind of
fire.
butt cheeks until the
And
black
also,
arc.
whatchamacallit, being a Kai, and Gohan actually training with Kais also made more sense.
Why? It's just
Yeah,
but this is Dragon Ball. We always have stuff like this with Dragon Ball. Even like saying that Super was ass, I didn't even think so. I liked damn near the whole of it. Like, but there was moments. There was definitely moments.
oh yeah, I mean, they definitely could have took the manga tournament and put that in there instead of what they did, and it would have been
Bro, my cousin, y'all know I'm wrong. My cousin reads the manga and he gets me hip to what's going on in the manga. And that's the only time I'm mad because this would be a whole separate podcast. But like,
better.
what the fuck? The manga is so dope. There's so much cool shit happening right now. And like, past Super, like, there's stuff that I'm praying that we see in anime form because it's fucking cool. But who knows? Who knows? Dragon Ball. But no, I do want to pivot to another game. Since we kind of that was very James focused game, I'm gonna pivot to a Carl focused game, even though they all kind of all of us. Um, but I want to talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater because I think that's one of the biggest remakes that we know about that's coming out. Unfortunately for your fantasy critic, you only have a month left for it to drop this year and it have no release date. So I think that's a 2025 game. But yeah, no, when it finally drops, it's gonna be absolute fire. It looks really amazing. And like, what are your impressions of it been so far, Carl?
Oh, it looks fantastic. I can't wait. I think that's the perfect game to remake. It's been long enough. I'm
Yep.
super excited, and I'm also curious to see what changes they're gonna do because Metal Gear Kojima is famous for making sure you know that he made Metal Gear. He's gonna put his name in there,
Yep.
everywhere, reference himself all the time. And with Kojima not being a part of Konami anymore, Konami making this game, obviously, I wonder are they going to remove those references and what Easter eggs are going to change or what and Easter eggs are going to add because of it.
Mm.
I'm also doing. And speaking of that, I wonder the main thing is what Easter eggs are going to add. Like, are they still going to keep the secret of you can just change the time clock on your system to kill the end by old age, things like that.
There is no fucking way, Carl, that they can take that out. There's no way they can take that out, bro. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. You can't. That's like one of the coolest things in the game. Like you can't. But that's the impression I'm getting is that they're kind of sticking with what made it great. So
I mean, there's so many different ways to kill the internet game. That's just one
yeah,
of them. You can also just snipe him before the fight even happens. Like when he's on the docks in the wheel, shooting an old man in the wheelchair is hilarious, but it's
that's
fucked up.
that's a wild sentence, my boy. But
I
yeah,
mean, you can do it if you find the sniper rifle early. You can just literally do that, and you'll never have to find him in a boss fight.
and
I
that's
wanna
amazing.
I wanna know since there's no other Metal Gear games out technically on the 5, we're gonna do the quotation mark. If I kill Ocelot, I'm gonna get the paradox thing again.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
they probably still will do that still because it's still technically in the past.
Yeah.
So if you do something that messes the time stream up, there is no Metal Gear Solid anything else
Right.
because this is the first one.
Imagine if they like let you change the other remakes that come out. Like, oh, you killed him in this one. So. Nah, there's so like Metal Gear is absolutely one of those series. Like we talk about Budokai doing all the weird stuff back in the day. Metal Gear and Kojima is just all weird. Like it's just all weird shit. Like nobody's gonna know what the fuck that mask my man has on in the plane is because Raiden is not around yet. Like we're going to start from the beginning, but that was just such a random. They got it, and from the trailer I saw, the most recent trailer, it seems like they're keeping the charm, a lot of the feeling, like a lot of what made it so special, intact, and or at least they're being very intentional about it. They also shouting out Kojima a lot, which is very important for me. Like they're acknowledging that hey, this is his baby. You know, this is something that we don't want to mess up. We respect the original. And it just looks so fucking good. Like the graphics are so incredible. So I am very interested. There are so many little small things they can fuck up basically, like just by not getting them quite right. Um, I don't even know how much I want to see them add to it, but I do need them to add to it to some degree. But like it's got to hit the same, you know, it's got to have that same impact as a Kojima Easter egg or like a, you know, like the going into the locker and seeing the picture of the woman on the door, that vibe. Like you got to have stuff that really feels right for Metal Gear, and not just stuff that's kind of like thrown in there, you know. So,
or
but I'm looking forward to it.
or if you stare at Eva too long at her chest, she recognizes it, so slaps like, "What are you staring at?" She'll slap the shit out of you. Things like that.
Yep. That's and we have so many more systems and like so much more power to do stuff like that with. Like, um, side note, there's like some near DLC for Stellar Blade. And if you try to look under the main character's skirt while she's like wearing the near skirt, she like kicks the fuck out of the camera. So we still have the technology, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We can
and
still
I bought the new lollipop chainsaw, and if you try to do that, she'll pull down her skirt so you can't see it anymore.
that's awesome. They know we're disgusting. They know we're disgusting. That's awesome. I bet you ain't find that out on the internet, James. I bet you found that out in person, didn't you?
I actually found that out on the internet because I wanted to see what's different from the repop version of the game and the regular.
Okay.
And some of the stuff they were like, also, so like if you play the repop, it's for like I won't say kids, but younger people. So some of the gore and violence is cut, and it's more like lollipop pop stuff.
Okay.
So when you
Okay.
cut off heads, or you can play the game normal, and it's still like very gory and killing zombies. So,
This is gonna
Nice.
be very like a real weird take, but when you said that, it reminds me of Halo 3. There's a skull in
Hmm.
Halo 3 that's called Birthday Surprise. So every time you get a headshot, instead of the blood coming out, confetti explodes and a little birthday noise comes out. And I always play with that skull on because it made the game more fun. It was very satisfaction to get headshots. It encouraged me to get headshots more.
Actually, I would like a tiny little party to be thrown every time I get a headshot. I get that. I do get that. No, that's actually pretty dope to hear. I never played Lollipop Chainsaw. It was one of those Suda 51 games I was always fascinated by the existence of because I'm like, you clearly had a idea, like you know, you had a theme in it. At first glance, it'd be like, oh, you took the hot girl and made her a badass. Okay, that's you know, pretty. That's a trope or whatever, but. Suda 51. Like he's a really a creative. He's got that energy, that Kojima, that Yoko Tano energy, like where he makes weird games and he makes them work and he makes them fucking fun. So I always felt like that game was probably overlooked. You know, I won't call it underrated because I didn't play it, but it seemed pretty overlooked, and I can't wait to give it a try, especially with those little changes, so I can pick how I want to play. Because let's be real, back then we was a little too freaky with the stuff. Like it might be we might have gone a little too far. So maybe they tone some of that stuff down, or at least make it a little bit more like this. I say that, but I just talked about Stellar Blade, which just came out, so never mind. We still pretty horny. Let me see. What else do we have though? I want to talk about a couple games that we know are coming or think are coming, but we haven't heard much about yet. Um, how excited are you guys, or how much do y'all know about the Perfect Dark reboot that's coming out?
I know very little,
Hmm.
but I am excited 'cause I do love the original Perfect Dark on 64. It is a fantastic game, and I tried to play it actually recently on the Switch Virtual Console on the 17 plus thingy they got,
Yeah,
and I couldn't because the controls is abysmal on the Switch
I've heard.
about the N64 control. I can't make it work. So
Yeah,
I do love the game.
I have heard some rocky things about some games on Nintendo Switch Online, like control wise, frame rate wise, or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, But no, Perfect Dark was definitely a special game back then. It was it was the Banjo Kazooie to GoldenEye's Mario 64, to where it was like not the sequel, but kind of the spiritual successor that took the mechanics of the OG and like built on it in a really fascinating way.
This is going to
Um,
be a hot
mhm.
take, unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer the Perfect Dark to GoldenEye.
It makes sense. Like it was the one that came after with more shit that built on GoldenEye. It's like a lot of people prefer Banjo-Kazooie to Mario 64, shockingly. Like because it just had more going on. It learned from everything Mario did and just built on it, you know. So there's probably an objective conversation about like quality wise or whatever, but I am a Mario guy, so don't have that conversation with me. Um, but as far as Perfect Dark goes, though, if you haven't seen like the most recent trailer for this game, man, it looks really phenomenal to me. Like there's elements. It's a first person shooter, but there's elements of like everything from Deus Ex to where like you got gadgets all out the ass. You can like manipulate the environment to surprisingly Mirror's Edge. Like there's a little bit of like parkour and like running and like traversal elements to it. Um, some of the stuff that it looks like you can do, like some of the environmental stuff, it really looks pretty immersive and in depth, and like the combat is going to be a lot of fun. It kind of even almost gives me Hitman vibes to where you can walk into a room full of people and kind of decide how you want to handle it, you know? And there's like so many possibilities. But
So is this not a remake of the 64 version, but a brand new, just a new game in general?
yeah, it's a reboot of the entire series. So it's like kind of its own thing.
Okay.
It's still Joanna Dark. She looks like herself,
Okay.
but different, you know, modernized.
Is my
Yeah, so there is like some changes, some aesthetic differences, and then like the plot is based around I think like environmental terrorism. Like I think it's kind of like a kind of something that touches on like real life just a little bit. So I think that's pretty cool.
because I wanted I did love the series, and I played the ones that came after on Xbox 360 back in the day.
Mm.
Those Perfect Dark games, and they were actually pretty bad. So, and then I think that's why the series kind of folded after that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
so that's why I'm happy to hear that they're bringing it back. Hopefully, they make it more towards the 64 version, not towards the 360 version. 360
Oh,
was kind of cheap.
100%, 100%. We all know what's up with Perfect Dark Zero wasn't that like a launch game for 360 or it was like close to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was you know what was up with launch games for the 360. You know what I mean? Like if you were there, you know, but if you weren't there, just understand that 360 brought us into this modern era of games. And when like straight up, everything like the way games still work the way they worked on 360. Like the open worlds are kind of still working that way. Like that system, that generation kind of started off what we're doing now. It was even like the first HD console. Um, but the games that came out when it first came out, like every console, were really nice looking versions of PS2 games. You know what I mean? Like or like three Xbox games. Like so they were still trying to find a footing. And I wish they hadn't put that out so fast. With that being said, Rare also put out Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts on the 360.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even play with it.
Like so it was just kind of like they was just trying shit, you know. They was trying to find their identity with Xbox, I guess. Um, but yeah, this looks a lot more like, hey, we're not trying to do like a edgy, perfect dark. You know, we're trying to make a game in with that same sensibility, but it's a modern game. You know, like it's a game that's just if this game didn't have Perfect Dark on the title, I'd still be very interested and I'd still be down to buy it. But I think Perfect Dark Zero on the 360 was like, hey, there's Joy in the Dark on the cover. You know her, right? Come by it, you know. So I don't know. That's the vibe I
They
got.
they changed their hair to orange though for some reason.
Wasn't it always like orange with the like blonde in
Now
it?
she had black in the 64 version.
Really?
Mhm.
Because she has her blonde like same hair in the new one.
Maybe it was the graphics of the 64, but that shit looked black to
There's
me.
there's no way they were so bad that they looked.
go 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 when you get a chance. Go look
I'm
at your
literally looking at her right now, and it was definitely
no
bricked.
no look boot up your virtual console for your
Okay.
Switch and do the open the game up and see when it zooms in her face, you'll see her black little bob cut she has.
And you know what? Looking at this picture, I can see how her hair is red here. This is the model from the N64, but I can absolutely see how the graphics might affect that a little bit. Like, because even in this picture, they look a little dark, got red hair, and that's how you know it's still a perfect dark game. You know, shout out to the redheads out here, my people. Um, so let's see. Did y'all before I keep going, my little games that are coming back? I got like one or two more that I wanted to talk about. Actually, really just two more. But did y'all have anything that you know is coming out soon, like any reboots that y'all are interested in that caught y'all eye? Because if not, we can talk about
I only have rumors that stuff that's been rumored forever that's never came out. So I'd rather hear about things like Beyond Good and
literally.
Evil that's never like ever going to show up in
But see,
life.
that's what I'm looking at. That's exact. I'm about to go to the same direction. First of all,
Okay.
like the games that we're talking about are either rumored, we haven't seen or we barely seen or whatever. Beyond Good and Evil, they keep saying it exists. They said this year, like a couple months ago, that it exists.
It don't.
And the thing they because they put out like a remaster or something like that, and I'm going to get that because this whole time, bro, I just didn't know what the fuck Beyond Good and Evil was. Like I never knew what that game was.
It's
I
a
knew
fun
what it
game.
was, but like I didn't know that it was like a Zelda. It's a Zelda game. Like I didn't even fucking know that. You know how fast I would have played that game, bro? Are you kidding me?
It's a very fun game.
Yeah, look, it seems really dope, and I just kind of slept. That was also a little awkward time for games where some of the Zelda likes were a little bit like sloppy or whatever. But playing shit like Star Fox Adventures, like I was like, oh, this is dope, and it's just like Zelda. Like I feel like that game has that, but it's more mature type shit. So really do want that game to exist. I hope. Fingers crossed. But the next one that I had on my list, actually, let's pivot to the one that we know is actually happening since I don't want to go directly into that same lane just yet. Uh, I just wrote down every Sega game ever because if y'all haven't heard about what Sega is about to do, yeah,
Yeah, I saw
like
that. Because
it's
they remaking one of my favorite games, Streets of Rage.
boom, and I should have known that was the one you was about to say. Yep, yep. Streets of Rage is gonna be fire. Golden Axe is gonna be fire. I used to. I don't even think I liked Golden Axe back in the day.
I
Like
did.
some of these games I didn't even like, but I'm like, I'm so down for y'all to try again. Shining Force got me into like strategy RPG, so I think that's also getting remade. Um, Crazy Taxi is number two on my anticipation list.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'll be a good one.
yeah. There's literally like zero point 0.3 seconds of gameplay footage of what they're doing with this, so you can find some little glimpses of like the reboot online. But it's gonna be dope. It looks fucking fun. Like it
Yeah, I
looks like a
saw that, and
blast.
I saw they remaking Jet Set Radio.
That was my
That's
number one.
another good one.
That's my
That's
number
another good
one,
one.
man.
I am gonna play. I'm gonna play that like
Bro,
no other.
that game is just special. Like it's just something different about it. And it's like one of those games that I just pick up and fuck around. And I didn't even like, I never even had like Xboxes back in the day, so I don't even remember where I had it, when I had it. But I just remember having so much fun, just skating around, like just fucking fun, messing around in the city, doing a little graffiti or whatever. Um, and I can't wait to actually play this as an adult and like actually delve in and try it out. I think I might have even played Jet Grind Radio, so I might not even have played Jet Set Radio Feature. Um, but this is going to be fucking amazing.
It actually had missions and boss battles and boss fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They did.
But I was a little kid, so you know,
This-
I wasn't sure, man.
Are they remaking Space Channel 5 too?
I don't think that was on the list. I don't think it was, but never say never. I feel like if they do a second wave of this, Space Channel 5, Seaman, you know what I mean? Those games could be on Seaman and with modern technology, bro.
You already know how I feel about Seabass.
Yeah,
so
I do.
they
And
did crazy things with the weak technology it has. I can't imagine with ChatGPT involved in the shit.
bro, I was about to say it might be too much. It might be too much. But I'm down for it. I'm here for it. I love when people try weird shit like that. So that's definitely high on my list. I can't believe that they're even doing that. So shout out to Sega for just being the coolest fucking video game company for some reason now. They just do cool shit. They just do whatever they want to. And it's dope. But the last one that I know that we know of that I wanted to talk about before we start talking about what we want to see come back, Splinter Cell is apparently coming back.
That's the
Yeah, that's we've needed that for a decade, like literally. This game should have been out. Do you know the big ass gap that Metal Gear Solid left in this industry, bro? There was so much room for Splinter Cell to exist and thrive, and it's just time, man. Xbox could use it. Make it an Xbox exclusive. I don't even care. Like, just put this game out, you know?
So I would say this for me, Splinter Cell stopped being Splinter Cell, stopped being good after Double Agent. And Double Agent, even in my opinion, wasn't even that great. The best Splinter Cell game will always be Chaos Theory.
That's what everyone says.
Because after Double Agent, they start going, okay, let's fuck the sneaking, what the game was I liked about the game, and let's have them just run around shooting everything. That's
what I like the game.
No, I hated it. I miss when they say you're not allowed to kill people, and then when you kill somebody, it goes, "Damn it, Fisher!" and the mission automatically fails. Like that's what I played Splinter Cell. That's the reason I played Cyberpunk the way I played, because I wanted to get like a Splinter Cell kind of feel.
Man, this is such an interesting combo, and we about to run to the end of this. I was just reading somebody talking about forced stealth. They're taking it out of Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, so. The thing is, I understand both perspectives here because Carl, this is a game that was built around stealth. So the forced stealth was probably good. Like, you know, you don't want to fail. But I'm with James because I prefer the system to be that way, Carl. And then if I fail, I get to play like James wants to play. Like if I fail, don't fucking fail the mission. Let me go out and try to make some shit happen in this horrible fuck up I've caused. You know, like Metal Gear Solid doesn't fail the mission if you get caught. You gotta take the motherfucker out before you get fucked up. You know, like you're gonna die or get captured, but you got a chance to make something happen, go hide or something. So
I want the option to play the game. Like even in Metal Gear, I've only played Metal Gear like that once because I wanted to get the little special suit that you get if you sneak around the game and you don't kill anyone. So I did it because I wanted to get that. But people know how I play Metal Gear. I'm gonna kill everybody. Or I'm gonna throw everybody really hard to the ground and then make my way. I'm gonna
that counts. That counts as stealth.
Yeah. But if you see me, I don't care. Like, what are you gonna do? Beat me? I'm Snake.
If you knock a motherfucker out before they alert their friends, you're being stealthy. I don't care if you run in the room screaming with party poppers, but if you knock them out before anyone else notices, you're stealthy. That's what I say.
So this is how I say about that. So I don't like taking stuff out of Star Wars Outlaws. That's fine, but when your core game is designed, say, hey, you're this secret agent that's not supposed to be seen ever, and you have to extract the information and get in and get out without anyone knowing you were there. You are a Splinter Cell. I should not be able to run around and just donk everybody in the head and get the whole U.S. caught up in an international incident.
So what was that game? I think it was Splinter Cell Conviction. I understood why he wasn't sneaking around in that game
because he was an outlaw.
Yeah, right. And also I think they kidnapped his daughter or they killed her or something. So like, yeah, I'm not sneaking around anymore.
But at that point, you're not Splinter Cell no more. Now you're fucking Liam Neeson and Taken.
yeah, but you're Liam Neeson and Taken, and if he needs to, he can sneak around. But if he don't need to, he's coming out to kill. I like a little variety. I do understand that logic though. I like the game to be built around. Hey, make sure you're not seen. Hey, do use everything in your skill set, your abilities. Even if you get nice enough that you can straight up walk in a room like and not crouch or anything, and you can still take everybody out before. Like I said, it all counts as stealth if you don't get caught.
So
Just don't
one
get
more
caught.
point about that is that even in I know cars are played, but even in Spider-Man, there's sneak mission. And you know what I do? I can go in there and I fight everybody.
Well,
I'm Spider-Man. I'm
I
not
love
sneaking in
sneaking
here.
people in Spider-Man,
Like,
bro.
okay, on a Batman game, it makes sense. Okay, come down, suit. I'm Spider-Man. I'm not sneaking around. No, I'm gonna fight
Spidey's
everybody.
coming in hot with a quip and then he's beating
Like,
everybody ass.
yeah,
You're not wrong.
that's it.
I personally just crave a nice, cool stealth game so much that I made my own in Cyberpunk.
Yes, you did, and it kind of yeah. I remember the stories about this. So
Mhm.
I respect it, man. I respect it. So before we delve too deep into this convo, I do want to make a little bit of time because we're on like the last 5 minutes of the episode or so. But I want to take a little time to talk about what we want to come back, like games that we really hope get rebooted. Because I know that could have been a whole episode in and of itself. Kind of was the point of this episode, and then we just ended up talking about all these games that already got announced. But I have a short list once again, and I'm gonna just say one or two of them. I know y'all got something to throw out here for this, but I'm gonna start off and get the one out of the way that everybody's gonna agree with, which is the NFL and NBA Street games. Like,
Oh,
how many times do we have to ask why the fuck these games don't
yeah.
exist? Like, what's happening? Why are we not making these games? Y'all even kind of like teeter-tottered on the brink of like bringing back the branding. Like EA, it wasn't big, but it was EA something um EA Player. No, that's like their streaming thing. But anyway, they had their own like branding that was very similar to Big, and that's what they put out Knockout City under. And it made me think, oh, okay, we getting back to this arcadey fun, sports vibe, and that would have been the perfect brand to put these out under. So, just saying.
You know the next, James?
For me, it's definitely gonna be a remake and do it the right way of Marvel versus Capcom.
Mm.
Not the last crap they put out, but like old school back to like how I like the game to be. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's a licensing nightmare.
It is, but
It might be, but I feel like it's a little bit more easier because now X-Men and a lot of that stuff is back with Marvel. So I feel like, that could be taken care of a little bit better.
That's facts. Everybody, like 3 companies own everything now, so it should be fine.
Yeah, that's actually a whole episode on its own. But I know we're running short on time, so I'm just going to point out my very obscure pick that I used to love to play was Raider Rumble.
Okay.
I just miss being Afro Thunder and getting to fight Michael Jackson and Bill Clinton in a boxing match. It was just so zany, so wild, and so fun. And like you could knock people out the ring, do triple backflips, and like people had to fight. I wouldn't mind having Fight Night back either. I do like the Fight Night series.
Yeah.
But I like Ready to Rumble was just more arcade, just more fun, less just something to chill out with.
Yep. Ready to Rumble was Fight Night Street. So I can dig. Not really, but it's cool. That game was just so Sega. Like it would have to be part of that Sega reboot for real, because they had that style of like, hey, we don't give a fuck, we're having fun. Extreme 90s vibes. They had that lockdown. So
now here's Bill Clinton versus Michael Jackson.
Why not? Why the fuck not? If I was Michael Jackson on multiple Dreamcast games, I don't know, but he's awesome for that shit.
Moonwalker.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of Space Channel 5, but yes, he had his own. Man, he got a deep history with Sega, huh? He made the music for Sonic. I didn't even.
Yep.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. Or Sega, or Michael. So the next one on my list, just keeping in with the the sports / fighting / this one is not coming back, but I just want to talk about Def Jam real quick, the fighting games. Just briefly, bro. It can never happen again because I don't even think record labels work like this no more. Like I don't
but yeah.
I don't know who the fuck is gonna be on this game. It'd be like TD versus Dreamville versus this person is that person. But literally I want it so that we can have the big 3 fight. Like that's all I want. So you gotta figure out a way to get them niggas in the game. And then
Last game I definitely want for them to remake is definitely Power Stone.
Yes.
Awesome choice.
Give me Power Stone, like please. Like I've been begging. Like I don't know who I gotta pay off don't got a lot of money. I can offer you $5, but just give me $5, please.
I do it for $5. I think it's worth it.
Man. How much time we got left? I got
We
one more.
got a couple. Yeah, you can. Let's get one more off. See if we can just throw out one more piece.
One of my favorite franchises I need to come back. Jet Force Gemini. Always was a huge Jet Force Gemini fan. One of my favorite 64 games. It had a great cast of characters, really fun gameplay, and I love Jet Force Gemini. I would love for it to come back with a sequel or something.
I am not mad at that. Damn, I gotta choose. Okay, I'm gonna put my hat under Sleeping Dogs. I want Sleeping Dogs to get a sequel, bro. I love that fucking game. It's so special.
I love me some damn Sleeping Dogs.
Yes, for the combat.
Was like, man, the combat in that game was ridiculous.
It's all I ever wanted from a GTA. I'm not gonna hold you.
I love that game.
Yes.
All
right, James, you got one more?
I had it on the top of my head and then I just lost it.
Okay, if you don't throw yours out there, I'm gonna do my. I'm gonna end. Okay. I'm gonna end the episode with Pokemon trading card game from Game Boy. I don't know if y'all played the Pokemon TCG Pocket joint that's out on cell phones now. If not, please download that game so we can fight and battle and shit. But Pokemon has like one of the best trading card games ever. They had a Game Boy game that was fucking incredible. It was like the most slept on gem from that era, right around the red and blue era. And I just think more people need to play those games. It would really hit. But we're about to get cut off, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. We'll probably come back to this concept, but definitely let us know what you guys want to see remade, what games you want rebooted, because we want to hear from you guys. We want to make the show for you. So until next time, man, I'm Kendall. This is James and Carl. Make sure you guys keep